Perfect. So, yesterday what we were discussing, we were talking about the relations. So relations, what we spoke. So we have talked about the normal relation. There are three types of relations. If you go to relations, we have to create the relation. In that relation, we have to set the from which table we are going to set the relation. Okay. For example, in our case, we have the student table and student marks table. Student table is the master table. Student marks table is the child table. Okay. So generally, the master data will be always created in the student table. So if you want to create, there is a new student is joining. If you want to create the data for that student, new record, so we'll be creating into student table, right? So when we have to refer that student data in the other child tables, so we have to uh, create the relation in the child table. That is what we did by using the in the student marks table. So I am frequently changing the screens. If you are getting confusion, let me know. Okay, now I'm into student marks table. So our master table is student table. Let me keep it both side by side. Let me close other windows. It will be clear for you. Okay, student table and student marks. The student marks table, since it's a child table, here I have created a new relation. In that relation properties, I have set the my table from which table I would like to set the relation. That is the student table, related table property, the relation property. Then I'll right click on this relation, go to new, and here we can find three relations. Normal relation, field fixed relation, related field fixed relation. So initially I'll take the normal relation to set the foreign key relation. It is normal and foreign key both are same. We call it as a foreign key in terms of database concepts. Okay, when I take the normal relation, so I need to set in the properties, the current table field and related table field. Field is current table field is student ID. So related table field is student ID. So when you're creating your child table, so definitely you would have already created that field. That is student ID. So this is the normal relation. Once we create the normal relation, once you open the table and if you try to create a record in the student marks, so when you are trying to key the data into that field value, so it's automatically refers the student table records. It will only allow us to key in the values from the student marks data. It will drop down. It will show you the drop down values. Is it clear? The first one. The second one and third one is like kind of two more relations. On top of the normal relation, we will do the field fixed relation and related field fixed relation. Field fixed relation is nothing but, so currently I'm setting up the normal relation in the student marks table. So that is the normal relation we set. On top of this normal relation, I'm going to set the field fixed relation. That is, in the current table, you should have one enum field because I have my location field. So which contains the three elements. Right click on this location, go to base enum. So for enum field, we have to set the base enum, which contains the elements. Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai. So my need is, so so when you set the field fixed relation, so it will enable the normal relation based on the value, based on this location value. So what I do, I'll right click on it and I'll take a field fixed relation and go to that field fixed relation. It will be created. Go to properties. Here you have to set the field. In the current table field, you have to set the enum field. That is location I have selected. Then what is the value? Oh, it's got changed. So what is the value? We have to select the value for that field. Let me close this and open. It got changed. Are you guys following me or any doubts till now? Any confusion?
First one is normal relation. Normal relation means we can create the other data on the basis of main. And second one is field relation. The field relation
Field
is
fixed relation.
okay.
Okay. See, on the top of the normal relation, we will create field fixed or related field fixed relation.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to control this normal relation based on this field value. So we can do that field value only enum fields. We should have an enum field.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, I have enum field location, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai. So when it is Hyderabad, this lookup has to show the drop down. For other locations, it should not show. So to do
Okay.
that, I have to select the field fixed relation and go to properties. I have to select my field, that is location enum field. If you go to drop down also, you can see only enum fields or integer fields. Okay. So then you have to select the value. When you select that location, it will show you that base enum values here. So I'm setting up with Hyderabad. Whenever you create a new record which is having only the Hyderabad, for that records only, you can select the lookup, that is drop down.
So all the students relating to Hyderabad only it will display, right?
Exactly. It will display means it will allow us to see that drop down reference from the student table.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Let it open. So that is the field fixed relation. A related field fixed relation is nothing but, okay, we are getting the drop down using the normal relation. So we have created the normal relation, and in the normal relation, we are getting all the reference data from the student table. If there are 10 records are there, or 5 records are there, whatever the records are there, we'll get it. But so this related field fixed relation means the related table. For the student marks, what is the related table? Student table. A related table, related field fixed. Related tables field value. Based on the related table field, what is that related table field? That is also, it should be enum field. Here I have the status. Okay. Present status or discontinued status. Okay. Some of the students might discontinued, right? So
Yes.
I need to get the students, whoever is present. I should not get in the normal lookup. I should not get the students whichever is discontinued. To do that, we can use the related field fixed relation. So that means the related table, based on the status, I'm just going to filter the data in the normal relation. I'll show you that. If you see the student table, I have 2 records. One is present and discontinued. Okay. When I go to student marks table, when I'm trying to create a record, so if you see the field fixed relation, first of all, not third one, second one. So whenever you select the Hyderabad, then only you can see this lookup. Okay. I'm getting only one. That I'll tell you why I'm getting only one. If I select Bangalore, you cannot see the lookup also. It will not allow to show the drop down values. That is the field fixed. Based on the current, student marks table location value, I'm setting up the drop down. It should be enabled or not. Okay. So related field fixed means based on the related table, we should see 2 records, right? It is filtering the data. It has to, I just set the related field fixed relation. It has to takes only present status records. That means in the drop down, you can see only present status records. Even though you have discontinued records, you will not see here. Your understanding is?
Yes.
Any other doubts?
Yeah, carry on.
So now you can see, oh, another record I have not created ID. So you can see now like 2 records which are having the present. If I create discontinued, it will not show again here. See, you are seeing only 2 records. It's not showing the discontinued records. Okay, that we have done by using the, so the related field fixed relation based on the related table field value, it is filtering the data in the normal relation. Only these 2. You can have only these 2. This is for the different purpose again. Is it clear now? Just try to walk through that video again, that yesterday video. You'll get very clear picture now.
Okay.
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 So the next one is delete actions. So the next one is delete actions. The delete actions concept is, so when you have two tables, okay, so we have the master table and transaction table. I mean, that is child table. So you know that there are two tables which is having related tables with the child table, right? So you have 4 records here. 2 records has been used in the child table. For example, like one record I have used, I'm just going to create one more record, like 3002, maybe 3. Okay, and save this. So we have 2 records. That means three double cannot create the record in student marks because already exists. Okay, with the same combination, student ID. This is the combination I took. Take only student period, is it? I should take student ID also. Okay, so I'll what I'm doing now, I have 2 records here. So the 2 records has been using student ID 3001 and 3003. Okay, in the student marks table, in the child table. When I go to student marks in the master table, okay, when I try to delete the record 3001, okay, if the system is deleting directly here without prompting anything or without maintaining the data consistency, so that means the orphan record will be left over there in the child table, because 3001 record is there. From this place I have selected in the child table. If I am going to delete the record here, if I delete the record here, so what is the meaning of having 3001, the value here in this record? It will become as a orphan record. Are you understanding or not?
That orphan record should be there or should not be there if you
Should
delete
not be
that
there.
record.
Should not be there, right? So that
Yeah.
is the consistency, to maintain the data consistency.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm just telling you, if I delete the record in here, if the system allows, if you are not maintaining the restrictions, or if I delete the record here, it has to delete here. Parallelly, it should delete there also. Or else,
Okay.
when I'm trying to delete the record here, it has to show prompt us. So it should not delete, because we have to delete the linking records in the child table. Then only we'll allow to delete here. Something should
Okay.
be there, right? To
Yes.
do such kind of prompting or to do restrict such kind of things, we'll use the delete actions, because I'm
Okay.
going to delete here. I'm going to delete this record. So
Okay.
deleting, delete actions. So
Okay.
while we are deleting, so we can set the actions. So that is called delete actions. Let me go to student marks table. So if you see here, we have delete actions concept here. Right click on the delete actions, create a new delete action. When you create a new delete action, it will be created here, and go to properties. You can see none is nothing. If you see here, we have 3 kinds of delete actions: cascade, restricted, cascade plus restricted. So if I select the cascade, what will happen? And set the table reference. You have to select on which table we are setting up. Student marks, right? So I have set the student marks. So it's got created. Very simple. So delete actions is done. I have to build this now. So once you create this delete action, what will happen? When you are trying to delete the record, I said the cascade. Cascading is nothing but deleting in the child table also. When I try to delete the record here in the master table, and it will automatically delete the child record because I set with the student marks. So automatically delete this record also. Okay. So that is the cascading. If I set the restricted, if I'm trying to delete the record here in the master table, system will pop up a message saying that cannot be deleted because we have to delete the record in the student marks table. Then it will allow us to delete. Such kind of prompt message will get it. It will not allow us to delete that. And you set the restricted. And you set the restricted delete action. Okay. So currently what I set the cascade delete action. So it has to delete the master table parallelly in the child record in the child table. Are you understanding or not this concept?
Yeah, if it is there restricted, then even if you delete there, it will not delete in the child table, correct?
It will not delete in the current table also. Nowhere it will allow us to delete. Because
Okay.
we are deleting in the master table, right? In the main table. If we are
Yeah.
trying to delete that record in the master table, it will say that should not be deleted because the child record is exist. First we have to delete the child record, then we can
Okay.
come and delete the parent record here.
So it's a restricted deletion action.
Yeah, exactly. When you said the restricted.
Okay. And if you delete there, and it should be delete in the child record also, it is the normal delete action.
It's not normal cascading. If you set the cascade,
Okay.
so when we are deleting the record in the parent table, it's automatically delete the linking record in the child table also.
Okay, cascading. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I'll show you now.
Okay.
Lakshman?
And ఇంకా వాయిస్ అది క్లియర్ అవునట్టు ఉంది.
Okay. I don't know why it's taking so much of time. Yeah? Small thing. I need to look into this. This records pattern. So build is completed. Let me go back to the So now we got the data. It's got refreshed our pages. So let me see now. So I'm just trying to delete the record 3003. Okay. Are you sure you want to delete all marked records? Yes. Now I'm going to my child table. Refresh this. It's not deleted, huh?
Yes.
3 people plus 3. I created in student marks, is it? I should create in student table. I'm sorry. I have to create the same thing in my student table, not in student marks. So I'm setting up restriction now. Let me see. I should create in the master table because I'm deleting in the master table, right? If you are deleting the record in child table, there is no any problem because the master data will be there always. So when you are deleting the record in the student table, it's a master table. So there only we have to set the delete action. Okay.
Okay.
So build complete అయిపోయిందండి. Sorry. So actually let me create the forms actually. So when we deal with the forms, it will be quite a little faster actually. So when you try to open the browser through table browser, so it will take a lot of time. Even to open this also, it's taking a lot of time. It's refreshing this page. So when you do any modifications in your development, so if you do the build, the page will automatically refresh and it will reload the page.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's loaded all the data. So refresh the page. So it is not deleted, no? Okay, fine. So my record got deleted here. So 3001, 3002, and 3 is already deleted. So now what I'm going to do, 3001 is there in the student marks. Currently this is student marks.
Okay.
So now 3001 is there, student ID. Now I'm going to delete the student 3001 in the student table, the master table. So when I delete this, system will not allow us to delete this. So you can see now, student table cannot be deleted while dependent student marks exist. Delete the dependent student marks and try again. So I set the restricted. When you set the restricted, it will not allow us to delete this record because there is dependency is there. This record already used in the child table. So this is how we will use the delete actions.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yes. First, if we delete it here, but it doesn't delete there. 3.
It's not deleted anywhere, no? 3 actually that is, I have set the wrongly actually. We have to set the delete action where we are deleting our record. So where do we delete? The master table. So when you are deleting in the master table, then only you need that delete action. If you are deleting in the child table, why it is required? Because you are deleting this record. There is no any dependency because the master table will have that record already. I am using this 3001 or 3 from the master table. As a child table, I am using it. If I delete this record, there is no any issue. My main table data will be there here.
Okay.
Okay. So earlier, initially, I put the delete action in the child table. I should put in the master table, that is student table. That is a small mistake I did. Okay.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Vinod?
And if you delete here,
it will allow.
Yeah, it no, in the child table, if you delete there, first if you delete in child table and if you delete later in the master table, is it allowable?
It will allow. That is what it is saying, no? The warning. Dependency is there. That's why you try to delete in the child table. Then you can come and delete here. Delete here in the child table.
Then we can delete in master.
3001 is allowing. Now I'm going and deleting here. Here 3001. It will allow me to delete. It should allow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's allowing now. It should allow. It should delete now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got deleted. Okay.
So delete action is restriction and cascading, and another thing. Two means delete actions.
Yeah, delete action, cascading and restricted, and cascade plus restricted.
Okay, cascade plus restricted.
Okay. So cascading is nothing but when you are trying to delete the record in the main table, it will automatically delete in the child table also. Cascade plus restricted in the sense, what will happen? It's kind of 3 steps relation. So in our case, student table, student marks table. So there will be one more student department, for example. So we have a record here, the student table, that is 3001. It has been used here, the student marks 3001. The same one has been used here, student department also 3001. So in this case, what will happen? When you set the cascade plus restricted, what will happen? So you are setting up the cascade plus restricted in the student table. Student table with the student marks, we have a relation. The student marks, again, we have a relation with the student department. So 3 steps of relation we have. So in this case, what will happen? And I'm trying to delete the record here. Cascade will work with the student marks as a cascade. Plus restriction. With the student marks table and with the student department, it will work as a restricted. So it will not allow me to delete completely because maybe student marks here, I will put some, maybe here is like 4001. So we have a relation with 4001. Okay. So in the student marks table, this is the ID. With this ID, we have they have the relation with the student department. So when you set the relation, I mean delete action here, cascade plus restricted. So these three tables are interrelated. So student with the student table and student marks, it will work as a cascade. That means what will happen when I am trying to delete the record 3001, it will automatically has to delete the record here in the student marks also. If there is no any record here, for example, there is no any record, it will directly delete. Even though there is a relation, if there is no any record, it will delete. If there is a record, so what will happen with this combination? It will work as a restricted, because so what the system will do, I am trying to delete the record here. In this case, it will go and check here, record is there. It will try to delete the record in both places, here and here. Again, parallel, it will check the second thing is restricted, the student marks and with the student department. The ID is this one, student marks ID 4001, 4001. These two records are there. So when it's a restricted, right? Restriction in the sense, if the child record is exist, it will not allow us to delete here. It is not allowing us to delete here. This one also will not get deleted. Completely interrelated. Cascade, for first two tables, it will work as a cascade. For these two tables, it will work as a restricted.
Okay.
Cascade plus restricted. Are you understanding?
Yeah.
Other guys?
If you want to delete totally, first student table we can delete, then student marks, then student table can only delete, correct?
Exactly. That is common. That we don't have to discuss actually. From the top down, you can delete anything.
Okay.
Okay. So any other doubts?
It's okay.
Okay. This is the delete actions.
Okay.
The next one is state machines. We will not discuss now. Mappings also will discuss later. The methods we will see later. Methods is completely coding part. Events and methods. Now let's start about the forms, basic understanding of forms. Okay. So now I'm going to classic view. User interface. In user interface, we'll have the forms, menus, menu items. Okay. So hello, sorry. I'm creating a new form. Right click on your project. Go to add, come to D365 items and select the user interface. The user interface, select the form. I would like to create a form. So give the form name. Student table form. So once you create the form will be created like this. It will be added into your project. Parallelly, it will be opened in the designer. So once you see here, we have the main form section, which contains the multiple nodes, methods, events, data sources, parts. And this one is design section, right? So the below one is preview and pattern. Okay, preview will show you whatever the design we have designed. You can see that preview here. Pattern is, it will talk about the patterns. We have a concept called patterns. Whatever the pattern we have taken, that pattern is achieving properly. That pattern, related to that pattern, you are designing your form or not, you can see in the pattern. We will see that. So once we create the form, so generally tables are very important. Without tables, we cannot design or develop anything. So once your table structure is defined, I mean, created, once your tables are created properly, so we can develop the forms or reports or any other things actually. Without tables, we can't do anything. So now once we create the form, we have the data source node where we will add our tables as a data source. Not only tables, we can add queries and views also, but mainly we will use the tables. Okay. So what is my table? I would like to create a student table, main form, master form. So I'll add my student table as a data source. Once we add the table as a data source, that table will be created as a data source here. Once we expand this data source, you can see inside the data source methods, events. Wherever you see, you can find the events. Wherever you see method.
Can you explain again, please, from the starting onwards, this concept, please?
No, we have forms. Once I create the forms, we'll have the three sections.
What is the forms for this?
Sorry?
What is the form in this?
Form is an object. No, how we have created a table. Similarly, we can create a form that can be used from the UI. From the UI, whatever the user is opening, that is all our forms only, mostly, other than reports.
Okay.
So all customers will open, or vendors will open, vendor group, customer parameter, purchase order, sales orders, everything, anything. Whatever you're opening, they all are forms, user interface.
Okay.
If you see in Application Explorer, I just have shown you that user interface node. User interface nodes, it's related to user interface. These are all the objects related to user interface.
Okay.
Once we are developed with the tables, we'll create the form. Because to open the tables, we are directly right-clicking on the table. We are doing, a table browser, right? So from user interface, we are not opening. To do that, we have to create a forms and menu items so that we can add them into user interface where we can open the user interface, the UI, something like here.
For the forms, we can add the tables, correct?
Yeah, without table, that's what I'm telling you. Without table, we cannot do anything. To create forms, definitely we should have the tables. That is where we are coming from, starting from the tables.
Okay.
If you go to user interface, whatever, see all sales orders, return orders, or invoices, everything other than reports, all are forms only. Okay, take anything. Okay. So once we create the forms, so whatever the table we would like to show in the form, we will add that table as a data source. The data source level, if you expand the data source, you can see multiple nodes. So wherever you see methods, next to that methods, you can see events. Okay, because they are completely events are related to methods only. I will discuss about that later. So we have the data source here. Whatever the data source we have added. So inside the data source, we have methods. Then of course, we'll have the events to the methods. Then fields. So whatever the table level we have that fields, that will be shown here. We have the field groups also. Okay. Then we have the reference data source and derived data source that we don't have to discuss now. Okay. So the main thing is data source here and with the fields. So then once your data source is ready, then we have to go to create a design. Before creating a design, here we have a concept called patterns. You have to apply one pattern. Pattern is kind of template. So what kind of design you want? You have to decide and you have to select that. Based on that design, you have to build your design based on that pattern. So pattern will give you one kind of format for the design. So you have to strictly take the same kind of design. If you take, there are so many patterns. You can go through maybe the docs help, the Microsoft docs help. But mainly, simplest we have, simple list, and list page we have, and simple list and details list page, and simple list and details tabular grid. There are so many things, but mostly we'll use the simple list and we'll use the list page, and sometimes we'll use the dialog. So there are so many patterns. Patterns are nothing but the user interface, the form, how we would like to see that format in simple way. So for understanding, I'm taking the simple list. Once we take the simple list, I have assigned earlier, it was just no pattern. Now once you select it, it's got shown here simple list. Once you select that pattern, you can see in the preview, next to preview here, pattern. You can see what kind of controls we have to take to achieve that pattern. So what is the first one? Application bar. In the brackets, you can see action pan. In the brackets, whatever he has given in the bracket, that is the control name. Okay, we have the controls on the design level. To design your form, we'll have the multiple controls. I click on the design. So go to new. You can see the multiple controls. So for integer, you will have one control. So string format, you will have one control. We have grid controls and date controls, real controls, action pan, calendar, buttons, button groups, command buttons, groups, combo boxes, and find a lot of controls. Here, what I'm going to do. So as per the pattern, what is the first control I have to select? The brackets. The brackets, you can see control name. This is the general action pan. Right click on your design. Select the action pan. What is the second one? Group. Right click on this. So once you select the first one, it will become as a blue color. So that means you have taken that. Select the second one, group. Go and select the group. What is the third one? Again, I go back and select the design. It will show the remaining things. Like select the grid. Third one is grid. Right click. Go to new. Add the grid. What is the fourth one? That's all. Fourth one is not showing anything. It's fine. So your controls are taken. It's fine now. So again, you just make sure select all the controls and see everything is fine or not. So when you select the second control, you can see there is a pattern is missing again, saying that pattern select.
All these three controls are mandatory?
Yeah, of course. When you take this pattern, when you see that red mark, red color, that it should mandatory. You should fill all of them, or else it will not allow us to save and build it. It will throw an error.
Okay.
So pattern wise, they'll have multiple controls. So that's the reason I have selected simple list. It's very simple.
Okay.
So once you select all these controls, when you select the second one, form group control, again it is asking for this group. Again it is asking one pattern. So to do that, I click form control. It's a group pattern. It is asking you to select pattern. I click on this pattern. Apply pattern. Custom and quick filters. Okay, it's got applied. Then in the third one is grid control. So now the pattern is ready. Pattern is completely ready. So it is saying something is missing again. Once you select this custom filter, custom and quick filters, when you select this, it is missing something. What is this? Quick filter control.
Okay.
Right click on this. Go to new. Select the quick filter control. Quick filter control done.
Okay.
So it came here in the quick filter control. Once you select the quick filter control, once that part is done, go to your data source, select your fields. Whatever the fields you would like to see on the UI, select those fields and add them into your grid control. Drag and drop. Came here, right? If you want to move, select that specific control and Alt down arrow. Save. So your form is ready now. And in the quick control, once you select the quick control properties, you have to set this thing. What do you have to set? Default column, because this is for the filter actually. When you open the maybe custom group or some things, so you have this quick filter, no? The default standard filter. To get this quick filter, we are doing that actually. So go to this quick filter properties, and you can set the target control. What is the target control to filter? So generally, where we have the data, target control is grid control. So that we have to specify here as a target control. Yeah. Don't get confused. It's a default process we do. Grid control. Then default column in the filters. And which column value we have to filter? The default column. Student ID. Done. So once we build this, and we have to add this form as a menu item that can be added into UI. I'm building this. Once we add that to menu item, if you add to UI, once you open that form, you can see like this. So you can filter the data. Like if I put something, C1001, right? If you put some, if you type something, you put some value, it will ask you. Default, it is selected for the filtration car identity, car ID. Similarly, once I open the form, it will show you for a student ID for filtration. C1001. Start filtering. So it has to refresh the page. It will filter it actually based on this value. To set that filters only, we have added the quick filter control and all those things. Once you open the form, it will open in the grid format. This is called grid format. So building now. So build is completed, and I have to add this form into menu items, because directly in the UI we cannot add the forms, because by using menu items only you can add it. Because if you want to set the labels and to add the security keys and configuration keys, we can do it on the menu items. Okay. So once we are good with this form, it is ready. If you want to add to menu item, we have to create a menu item and we have to add this form to menu item. That menu item can be opened any way. That will show the form. That we'll see later. For time being, I'll right click on this form. So set as startup object and right click on the report. Set as startup project and start this. It will run from the Visual Studio for the developer. For the end user, definitely we have to add this form in the UI. Are you guys clear?
Yeah.
So once this form is done, we'll wind up for today.
Okay. Zero errors.
It's opened. This is form. I have not set the captions and all.
Okay.
This is form. This is not because you can see only these fields. No, earlier you were seeing like some other fields. Whatever the fields we have added, you can see those fields.
Okay.
Even you have the filter here.
Data also coming into the form.
3004. Click on this. Filtering the data. Sorry?
No, if you open this form, data also came into this form directly.
Yeah, of course. That is the concept, right? You have added the table, no?
Okay.
You have added the table as a data source.
Okay.
Okay. This is the simple list. Simple list is it will show on the grid format or the basic filter. We can set the caption. I forgot to set the caption. Go to design properties. In properties, you can set the caption. Okay.
Okay.
So when you open the form, it will show in here actually caption. This is the basic form. Any doubts till now?
It's okay now.